Hello everyone and welcome back to another Batman Miniature Game 3rd Edition Battle Report. It's been a little while since the last one. Like I mentioned on a recent Crisis Protocol video, the mainstays of the channel sometimes take a backseat when there's new stuff to play that's more short-lived in general, like Townsfolk Tussle and whatnot. So that's why there was a little gap. But today we have a 350 rep game of the Teen Titans versus Joker on the map you can see before you. So without further ado, let's take a look at the specifics and get started. So here are the 5 miniatures making up the Teen Titans team, and they are being led by the 3rd edition brand new Rebirth Nightwing, who is massively misscaled even compared to more recent 3rd edition releases. He wouldn't look out of place in a Crisis Protocol match. I genuinely feel like they made a mistake with the scaling of him. But either way, he is awesome. He has some fantastic rules. He's a great sculpt in general other than the misscaled size. And he will be leading the team. He's got Shadowed Nightmare and Vigilante's Work, which you'll know from Zaz and the Year 1 Batman. So he doesn't start on the table, he can still have Audacity issued to him, and he can appear anywhere within 8 whenever a suspect marker is put down, be it friendly or otherwise. And Vigilante's Work lets him do efforts to put down, or to do free manipulates. It's not specifically to put down a suspect marker, he can use it to remove one. So he's really, really good. He also has On the Move, or Always on the Move, so you can stop midway through a move action to do an attack. And he has some extra gear with him as well. He's got handcuffs and an extra magazine, so he has more batarangs. The only other gear is on Rebirth Red Hood at the back there. He also has handcuffs, even though he's more likely rather to kill people. He's got handcuffs anyway. And then from the actual Teen Titans box, we have Starfire and we have Dove and Hawk there as well. Now, because Nightwing is the only person here who is a sidekick or leader, they are only losing one of their inexperience points. The rest of them are free agents. So they've got 3 inexperience points per turn, just in case they're forgotten to be mentioned as the game goes on. And here is the Joker crew, very, very poison focused this time around, being led by the Back to Gotham 3rd edition Joker model. Gaggy is his sidekick, and he has the enhanced gas upgrade, although most of the funding here has been spent on characters and guns. We have Eraser here as one of the extra people brought. He has the Joker gas rule added to him via War Gear. Then we have Condiment King, we have Gustav Gustafsson, and at the back as our free agent we have Ratcatcher and his 3 rat bases that will come along. So he can put down an extra sewer marker if he wants. He loves spreading poison, he makes poison rolls harder to pass. We'll see how he works. He might work well with Joker's cards. And then we also have Rasta Clown and Ace of Spades at the back there as well for some damage dealing at range. So that is both teams. They'll get deployed and we'll be back then. So we are all set up and good to go. The Teen Titans are deployed to your left and the Joker crew on your right. Joker crew is taking first activation, and the Teen Titans also have a plethora of passes to either use or take advantage of to get first turn in round 2. Nightwing isn't on the table because he can deploy via Shadowed Nightmare. That has positives and negatives. It means he's not there to give the team Inspire, but either way, we can take a look at how the Joker crew is deployed. We have Ratcatcher down there. Now, when you deploy his rat swarms at the beginning of the game, it just says before the game starts, deploy them within 2. It doesn't say they have to adhere to the actual deployment lines, so they are a bit further forwards. Then we have Ace of Spades, Rasta Clown, Joker next to Gustav Gustafsson, Joker has Audacity, Condiment King with Audacity, Eraser, Gaggy with Audacity over there. And then down the other side of the field here we've got Red Hood with Audacity, Starfire and Dove have Audacity. Hawk is the only one who doesn't. Nightwing has the other marker, and as stated, he is off the table. There's one Phase 1 card being played. It's by the Teen Titans, and it is their Die Hard card. And it is being played on Starfire because she is pretty tanky. So Joker's crew got the game started by activating Eraser, who is a henchman, so he benefits from the boss's Inspire. So does Condiment King. And he moved up towards the side of the building there, put down a suspect marker, and already turn 1, it is a Stinky Fish in play for 2. The Teen Titans used one of their many passes, although remember they can only use 2 consecutively. So Ratcatcher activated one of his rat swarms. It moved up, they move up to 8, so he could have actually gone a bit further, but chose not to, and stopped there in the middle of the street. We're sticking down here because a second pass did get used, so another rat swarm got activated, and it got sent forwards. They're both in the aura of that light, but they don't care because they're rat swarms. They can take hits for Otis if he's nearby them, as well as doing some other stuff like making the aura of poison rolls being harder to survive larger. So the first activation for the Teen Titans was Starfire. She used her special action because she had Audacity, to use Fly, giving her 18 inches to play with. She flew up here onto the building, put down a suspect marker, and as you can already see, Nightwing has chosen that suspect marker to be the one to appear next to. So from there he can pretty much reach anywhere on the table, which is opening up lots of options for him when he does eventually decide to activate. But there are a couple of dangerous guns down there to worry about. So Ratcatcher activated next for the Joker crew with Audacity. He's got 10 inches, but he didn't move the full 10 inches, and then he made use of his Sewer Worker once per game ability to put down a new sewer marker and put it right where you can see it. Now he could have started the game in contact with any sewer marker. He opted not to, just because it would have been too easy for the Teen Titans to pile on him. But he's safe where he is there. He can make those rat swarms take hits for him instead of him, and he also for his special action used Rat Tamer, which gives every rat within 8 a attack marker, which isn't super good. It puts them at attack 2 instead of attack 1, and an extra couple of inches on their move as well, putting them at movement 10. So it does also catch the one at the back there that hasn't activated yet, and they've got those attack markers for the next time they eventually roll attack. Another pass used, another sewer rat swarm rather activated. The final one has moved up behind Otis there to help protect him. Hawk activated without Audacity and just moved his 11 straight forwards onto the house there. It's worth pointing out also the app has been changed now, so that the acrobat rule no longer imparts +1 movement. The movement has instead just been put onto the character's movement stat. Doesn't make any difference, it just cleans up the acrobat rule a little bit. Ace of Spades activated next for the Joker crew without Audacity, but next to the man himself for that free inspired manipulate, which he used after moving forwards here to put down a suspect marker in the alley between the two buildings here. Up above, they are waiting. From the back lines, Jason Todd activated. He moved up behind the car here and put down a suspect marker using his manipulate. Didn't do anything else. He does have a one-shot gun as a special, but didn't want to use it just yet. Joker's crew activated Gustav Gustafsson next. Without Audacity, he simply moved up here, kind of out of the way, but also surrounded by help. And he's too close to that stinky fish to put down another suspect marker, so he didn't use the free manipulate from Joker at all. Second last activation for about round 1 for the Teen Titans was Dove. It's all working up to that hopefully spectacular Nightwing turn. She also can fly, so for a special action she activated that. Flew her 18 inches all the way up to here and has put down a suspect marker. So a bit of a tricky one. Rasta Clown activated and stayed still. He fired at Dove, and it was a bit of a hard one to work out if he could see her because she's modelled in such a way that she's standing on something. It seems like even if she wasn't standing on it, he would still see her upper head and chest, and she is also illuminated by the torch there, the lamp rather. Now, obviously he can't see any of her base, but he would be able to see her. So losing a die to cover, obviously, but he did fire at her. Thankfully, the roll was not that great because he could have just outright killed her because she only has 6 HP. She got him, or he got her rather, once, which is hopefully just visible there, for 3 blood damage. So it was just Nightwing left to go, but first, forgot to mention during Dove's turn, she put into play multiple threats, which is one of the tactics cards Teen Titans are allowed to play under the new team objective card rules. Target up to 6 friendly suspect markers, put a numeric counter on each, roll 1d6 at the end of the round, and see if it matches any of the numbers. It only counts the ones that exist at the point the card is played, so there's 3, 1, 2, and down by Red Hood for 3, so it's just going to be 1 to 3, and we'll see if that scores at the end of the round. Anyway, Nightwing, he activated up on the roof. He's an acrobat, so he can drop down without suffering fall damage. He did so, and then sprinted 13 all the way over here. He then used Vigilante's work to deal 1 stun damage to himself to put down a suspect marker with a free manipulate for free, which in turn scored Stake Your Claim, a neutral card for 1 victory point, part of the cunning plan for the Teen Titans deck this time around. But he made use of Always on the Move, so he stopped his move here and then initiated a Batarang attack on Rasta Clown over here. He normally only has 1 ammo, presumably, so he can't do this lots, but he does have 1 extra round with him thanks to the war gear purchased by funding. Chucked Batarangs at Rasta Clown's head, got him for 3 hits. That's 6 stun. Rasta Clown is unconscious. That's what he gets for attacking Dove. So he dropped, stopped his move midway, chucked Batarangs, carried on his move, and then made use of Vigilante's work. He can get a lot done in a single turn. So the Teen Titans might be done for the turn, but Joker's crew still has 3 minis. So Gaggy activated first and used his special action to do Gas Jumper, gives him 6 extra inches, and he can go in any direction, so essentially it's a fly, or a backclaw. So he bounced right up onto the building, and anyone within 4 of him is poisoned and gets enervating 1, so Dove is now poisoned. He then used his tactical action to reveal the suspect marker she put down there, making it harder to score multiple threats, and also scoring so long it's been a gasp, specifically the secondary way to score it. When a friendly model reveals an enemy suspect marker, you must choose one of your models, place a friendly suspect marker in contact with it. In both cases, the model suffers enervating 2. The Rat Swarm is an ally, so it's now got a suspect marker next to it and is suffering from enervating 2. They don't care. Joker activated, and there isn't much for him to do this turn, so he simply moved over here next to Ace of Spades and then made use of the Kill Them rule. So everyone within 6 of him gets +2 attack markers, except him, he's not allowed them. And finally, Condiment King activated, but he is mostly just helping to block in Joker a little bit for future plans, or to counterattack if someone jumps in against him, for instance an angry fire lady on a roof. So that does take us to the end of Battle Round 1. Let's see if there's any Phase 4 cards being scored and check the status of the ones in play. So then Battle Round 1, Nightwing has healed his 1 stun damage that was self-inflicted, and Rasta Clown has woken up, so he's just knocked down now. He got up on a Snake Eyes, so he is no longer unconscious, and he still has some ammo to use, so he is back to being a threat. Of the cards in play, the Stinky Fish scores for Joker's crew, giving them 2 more victory points. The Die Hard scores for the Teen Titans, because Starfire was unhurt, also for 2 points. And now we need to check if the multiple threats scores, but because one of the suspect markers was removed, it's only on a 2 or a 3. Nope, so it does not score. There you go, with that into Battle Round 2. Top of Battle Round 2, and it will be the Joker's crew taking first activation. However, I forgot to mention, Dove failed her poison roll, so she's taken 1 more blood damage. She's at 4 damage over 6 health, so it's not looking too good for her over there by her lonesome. There's 3 Phase 1 cards being played, all of them by the Joker crew. They were working on to their own large play in Battle Round 2. First of all, it's Let's Dance. So if a free agent, sidekick or leader takes damage this round, so i.e. Gaggy, Joker and Ratcatcher, if any of them take damage this round, that's 2 points. Die Hard is being played, also on Gaggy, so that's kind of a hit or miss potentially. And also, not moved in yet, but Showtime is being played. So Joker's card, 1d3 plus 2, although there's only 2 suspect markers potentially in range, so when we come back, that suspect marker and this one are going to be in base to base with him, and if he and either one of those is still there by the end of the round, that is a massive 3 points. Oh, apologies, it does not score at the end of the round, it scores on the roll, which is why you still do the roll, you don't just assume, because there is only 3 suspect markers. I totally forgot about Nightwing's one down here, so that got pulled in as well. But the roll of a 2 plus 2, so in 4 activations from this start of the round, it will score if Joker and at least one of those markers is still there. So lots of potential good first activations for Joker. Eventually Gaggy was selected. However, I had to redo his turn though, because he did a play originally that required him to have Trickster. He doesn't have Trickster by default, and nor can he get it from Joker because he's not a henchman. So instead he activated Gas Jumper, left Dove alone because what matters more is setting up points for the future. So he gas jumped from building to building, did his little gas explosion here on Starfire, and he's allowed to attack anyone within 3. Once he's done Gas Jumper, he attacked her and wasn't able to do any damage. She fully blocked it. So the first activation of Battle Round 2 for the Teen Titans was Nightwing, and he was down here by the barrels but had 13 inches to play with. He stopped midway in order to chuck the rest of his batarangs at the Rasta Clown here, although actually he would have had enough because he just jumps over this. Yeah, actually he didn't need to waste his batarangs, he could have just done a physical attack. It would have been with less dice, but already know it's good enough because he's defense 2. So yeah, he actually didn't use his batarangs. Let's just say he physically attacked, which would have been more stun damage in total anyway, even with 1 less experience die, or dice from inexperience. Then he kept moving over to the tree over there for some cover. Used Vigilante's work again, so that's why he's got 1 stun damage, put down a suspect marker, and scored another stake your claim for putting it down in the enemy deployment zone. We're down here for Ratcatcher's activation. He moved ever so slightly and then removed the friendly suspect marker that was there in order to turn it into loot. He's relatively safe this turn because even if he gets attacked, that'll still score 2 because of Let's Dance. So that's probably safe on him at least for this turn, and then maybe next turn he can escape into the sewer and go elsewhere. Red Hood activated, and from where he was, he used his special action to use one-shot gun. It's a 2+ roll, strength die, 3 blood, and bleed 3, and he got the crit, so it actually did 6 blood to poor Ace of Spades, who never gets any luck on this table. He is out of there and dead. Didn't do anything else in terms of scoring on that, however, that is a special action, not a tactical action, so Red Hood ran up to the suspect marker that was there, revealed it, and scored a comb through everything for revealing an enemy suspect marker. Now, when Joker's next activation happens, which is right now, that's going to score showtime for him though, which is pretty nasty. That's 3 points. Eraser activated next for the Joker crew, and he was in that alleyway there. He had Audacity. He moved up here, he put down a suspect marker, and it became Exploding Teeth with Bite the Dust. Now, unfortunately, the roll on it was a 1, so after the next activation, it's going to move d6 inches and explode. But it still scores if it hits enemies. Or, sorry, allies. So it may still yet be worth it. And he then also used a special action for 20% of taxes on Hawk there, and he passed, or rather he won the opposed willpower check, so Hawk is now no longer able to use Acrobat, which is pretty nasty. And with the completion of that turn, as stated, Showtime has scored for Joker for 3. So this is going to be a little hard to get angle on, but Dove activated next, and remember she is pretty badly wounded up there on the roof. She, for a manipulate, put down a suspect marker, then activated Fly for her special action, and has come all the way down here, using that huge tree with its thick trunk to block Gustav Gustafsson's line of sight, to hide here adjacent to Nightwing. During her turn, she also put into play another multiple threats. There is now 4 suspect markers on the table for the Teen Titans, so 1 through 4, essentially. 1, 2, 3, 4, just in case any of them get removed. That's it for posterity. And Bite the Dust. It moved 3 inches towards where Dove ended up, meaning that the only person caught in the explosion was Eraser. But that's fine, because he takes 1 blood, and it does score for 2, because it doesn't matter if it hits a friendly. Well, jumping on the chance to score another card, Condiment King was activated for the Joker's crew without Audacity, but he's a henchman next to the man himself, so he has that free Inspired Manipulate. He walked into the alley here right next to Red Hood, also kind of close to Hawk around the corner there, put down a suspect marker, and met the criteria for Let Them In on the Joke, one friendly model with the Trickster trait, which he gets from Joker for being a henchman, places a suspect marker within 4 of an enemy model, and then both sides discard a card. That is not in focus, but I read the card out so you still know what it did. So it's scored for 2. Super quick turn for Starfire. She just turned around and walked into Gaggy. She's got steel hands, so her unarmed attacks do triple stun. She's got 2+ on the strength die. He pretty much accepted his death, well, his unconsciousness. She efforted twice just to guarantee it. She did 9 stun, so he is very much knocked out up there on the roof. Some things never changed. The Joker activated and didn't see much else to do, so just for a lark he decided to go try and kill Jason Todd again. He moved out from where he was so he could get clean line of sight of him, shot his gun at him, triple blood, and was not able to get through, although even if he had, he has the Kevlar vest, so he could have redistributed one of the blood damage to stun instead. Now it's over to, I think it's just Hawk left to go for the Teen Titans. They could also pass, of course. Hawk decided to activate, and without Audacity, sadly all he could do is run at Eraser. Got into base to base with him though, had more than enough movement even without having access to Acrobat. Ready to pummel him next turn. Because he's taken damage, I think that means he's not imperceptible, or whatever that rule is called. The one, oh no, it's the one where you get 3 free efforts unless you've attacked. Although I guess he hasn't attacked, he's been attacked by Exploding Teeth. So he is going to get 3 free efforts. But he is only defense 2, and Hawk is pretty tough, so he's probably going to do okay over there. But now the rest of the Joker's crew just gets to do whatever they want. So we can cover the rest of those activations. Gustav Gustafsson had no line of sight, no Audacity, and Joker was too far away. So he simply moved down the alleyway there next to the Stinky Fish from round 1. Nothing else for him to do, so it's a bit of a waste this turn, unfortunately. Then it was just a case of the rats, the rat swarms for Ratcatcher. One stayed close enough to be a bodyguard. One went after Red Hood and moved into base to base with him. The other one is staying where he is to position himself such that Ratcatcher can be safe as he escapes through the sewer next turn with that loot he's carrying. So with that, let's check for objective cards. So at the end of battle round 2, Ace of Spades is gone, Rasta Clown is staying unconscious, and Gaggy has woken up. On the subject of Gaggy waking up though, we have 2 cards relevant to that. Let's Dance scores because he's a sidekick and got attacked, but he was the mark for Die Hard, and Oh, actually, if he woke up, does this score? Because it's at the end of the round. If this model is not KO or removed as a casualty, score discard. I presume it does not score because the scoring happens before the wake-up checks, so we'll say that hasn't scored. That might be wrong. And then we also have multiple threats for the Teen Titans, which we need a die for. And then we have to see if a 1, 2, 3 or a 4 is rolled. It did indeed score for 3. About time they started making some points back. Oh, and once again, totally forgot to mention poison checks. Starfire has passed hers. Dove failed hers again, and that's not even because of the influence of anyone nearby who makes it harder to do. So she's taken 1 more blood damage and is 1 hit away from death. Start of round 3, the penultimate round. There is no phase 1 or phase 2 cards being played by either side, although the valuable commodities is still in play for the Joker crew, and that is being held on Ratcatcher down there. And take a quick overview of the table to see who has Audacity. Nightwing has it over there. Forgot to do this for round 2, I'm pretty sure as well. But there we go. And the Teen Titans have finally managed to steal themselves first activation on the assumption that they don't want to pass, because if they all go early, a lot of Joker's models are going to get to do something without being stopped. So the Teen Titans did choose to activate, and they activated Jason Todd because he saw a chance for revenge. He went into base-to-base contact with Joker. He opted to use the crowbar, his double stun, heavy, handy, devastating blunt 2, and went at him. Joker efforted a full 3 times, so did Jason, but all said and done, he got through with 3 hits for 6 stun. 2 of them were the strength dice, because he rolls 2 strength dice, adds +1 to them. He's brutal, so he crits on a 5 and a 6, so presumably it applies the blunt 2 twice, hence the extra 4 stun being there, although at that point this is enough here, but just to be clear. And in doing so, he knocks out Joker for 1, but for 2, scores his Seeking Revenge. There we are. Objective card. Inflict at least 3 hits with a weapon that inflicts stun type damage against the enemy model with the highest reputation. If an enemy with the alias Joker is in the game, it must be the target. So that has scored for 3. Jason has gotten his revenge. And if anyone ever gets that objective card to finally arrest a model, he's there and waiting. Ratcatcher activated for the Joker crew, and his goal was simple: get it far away from the fighting so that valuable commodities will score next turn. He went through the sewer grating with his manipulate. He can go through a sewer grating once per game and keep moving. He's opted not to use that. Popped out right down there, and then during his turn, let them do their thing was played. You select a friendly suspect marker. The one Condiment King had put down was selected. You pick a direction, roll 2d6. It moves in that direction, explodes, and does 2 stun to anyone within range. That direction was picked. It went 6 inches. It caught... Oh, actually, it would have caught the rat swarms too. How much health do they have? They have... Sorry, willpower, I mean. They have 3 willpower, so actually it ended up basically on top of these 2, so it would catch these 2 rat swarms. They have 1 willpower left each. Red Hood has taken 2 stun. Presumably Joker takes 1 blood damage because he's taking stun damage while unconscious. It's not going to kill him, so it's hopefully not going to matter. But either way, the card does score for 2. So Hawk activated and finally made use of the fact that he had Audacity, so he could do more than one thing in a turn. He started by beating the snot out of Eraser. He efforted twice, and you'll see the stun damage on him in a second when I show where he ended up. Eraser got 3 free efforts, plus 1 in experience, and didn't help. Still 3 hits through, 6 stun, that's exactly how much HP he had, so Eraser is unconscious. And then Hawk ran down the alley into base-to-base with Gustaf Gustafsson, so he can't fire his gun. And there is the 2 stun damage he took from the efforts he gave himself. Oh, and in knocking out Eraser, has scored I'm Feeling Weird for 2. Bit of a snap activation for Joker's crew. Gaggy activated, he had to stand up so he was suffering impaired movement, but he activated Gas Jumper yet again, ignored Starfire, hopped off the building, right down there, did its gas explosion, and has poisoned Hawk and Gustaf Gustafsson. He doesn't care. And in doing so, scored for Joker, I'm Also Feeling Weird. Nightwing activated, who had been down there by that suspect marker, and he actually removed that suspect marker. It's still there for a reason, but he removed it to turn it into viable commodities for his side using Vigilante's work to get that free manipulate. So he was now carrying loot just in time as well, because you can't do it after turn 3. But in placing another suspect marker down for his normal tactical action, scored the final Stake Your Claim for 1 victory point. He then moved, and his 13 inches was just enough to get him into base-to-base with the unconscious Joker. Can't attack him this turn though. Condiment King activated and fired his mustard gun at Red Hood. Only got 1 hit through for 1 blood. I mean, Red Hood didn't use Acrobat because he's taken too much stun damage to be able to really... He could have technically dodged one, but he wants the stun damage just in case. So he is also poisoned as a result of that mustard. And then Condiment King moved up and used his free manipulate. Oh, actually, could he have still had a free manipulate from Joker being unconscious? It's not removed from the table, but I'm not sure if he still gets the inspire or not. Don't know. Well, let's hope it doesn't matter too much, because in removing one of the suspect markers that had been there without getting into base to base with Red Hood, he scored a So Long It's Been a Gas, the second criteria that we covered earlier. So one of the rat bases has taken Enervating 2 and put down a suspect marker. Starfire activated, used Fly to crash down into the street down here, and then shot her fire beams at one of the rat swarms, only rolling one die with their defense 2. She got one hit through for 2 damage, and that would take them over their willpower cap, so they're just removed, I think, similar to plants. It would have done 2 blood damage, but she converted it with non-lethal ammo. So she scored 2 points on that one finally. The Joker crew is fast running out of activations. Gustafsson activated without Audacity in base to base, so he couldn't fire his gun, so he has retreated down the street next to the unconscious Eraser. So last activation for the Teen Titans in the penultimate round. Dove, she moved to where you can see her, close enough to Hawk that I believe they're getting their teamwork procced. But more importantly, during her turn as a resource, They Must Know Pain was played, so she healed herself for 2 blood. And then she put into play the final multiple threats. And I believe there's 4 friendly suspect markers, so it's 1, 2, 3, and then 4 is up there on the roof. Final 2 activations for Joker's crew is just 2 surviving rat swarms. They just shuffled slightly. One went into base to base with Nightwing, one went into base to base with the sewer marker. And that does take us to the recap for the penultimate round. So at the end of battle round 3, there was some spectacular rolls for poison and KO checks. For Joker's wake up check, he rolled boxcars. He is not waking up. Neither, as it happens, is anyone else unconscious. So Racer, Rasta Clown, they're staying down. The poison rolls were just as unlucky. Everyone who is poisoned, including Gustafsson, except Red Hood, all failed. And the rats down here were making it... Actually, no, they wouldn't have made it worse. Oh, too late to go back. Don't know the result. The rats only make poison rolls harder if Ratcatcher is near them. They don't have Poison Master innately. That might have been done incorrectly then. But the rolls over here were definitely fine for Hawk, Dove, Gustav. But it might have mattered for... Well, Red Hood passed his test, but it might have mattered for Starfire. Not enough to kill her anyway, so hopefully it won't make a difference. But yeah, I did forget that. For objectives, we have to check multiple threats. 1 to 4 scores. Nope, fair enough. And Valuable Commodities stays in play for Joker's crew, and indeed for the Teen Titans, because Nightwing is holding the loot, and so is Ratcatcher. With that, let's see how this battle concludes. Dawn of the final day, the start of battle round 4. There's no additional objective cards being played by either side. The Teen Titans have priority once again, so it's been a good half-half split for who's been taking it. All the Teen Titans except Dove, over there in the top right, have Audacity, and everyone who is conscious for the Joker crew have Audacity as well. So, it's probably going to be a quick round. Let's see how it plays out. So the final battle round started with Nightwing arresting Joker using those handcuffs he was purchased. Finally, to get them off the streets, have been getting pulled from the pile, so the clown is down and off the table. And after that, he moved behind Condiment King, attacked him with his double stun combo sticks, and did a casual 8 stun damage, resulting in Condiment King not getting a turn. He is also unconscious. Gustafsson activated and was finally able to shoot his gun. He fired down the alley at Hawk, who remember doesn't currently have his Acrobat. Only took 3 blood from it, thankfully, and then Gustav retreated down in this direction away from most notable threats. And the Teen Titans are doing cleanup now. Red Hood activated with Audacity, walked into the unconscious Condiment King and arrested him, also scoring another Get Them Off the Streets. They actually ended up appearing at the right possible time. Genki activated, used Gas Jumper to jump between Hawk and Dove, making their poison 1 worse, and then attacked Hawk in an effort to try and take him out. Managed to do 2 more hits for 2 blood, not quite enough, all said and done. So in what I think could be the final activation of the game, because nothing else anyone can do will make a difference to any scoring, Starfire activated, moved up here, revealed the suspect marker, and in doing so scored a confusion. Reveal one enemy suspect marker within 8 of their deployment zone, which it is, because their deployment zone is roughly here. So looking at the cards in play, there's actually something we need to retcon ever so slightly. When Joker got removed from the table at the top of the turn, You're Expendable actually could have been played on him. I didn't think this could be played on leaders, but the only specification is a friendly model with the Trickster trait. Joker has it naturally. So this, ironically, he's Expendable, and that did score for 1 when that happened. The only other card that could possibly be scored for either side is Hawk removing that stinky fish, making his poison worse. Even if it hurts him in the end phase, it won't kill him, and that will score a comb through everything. So that's the only thing we're doing. Both valuable commodities in play score. Nightwing is still holding his, Ratcatcher up at the back there is holding his, so that means they basically cancel each other out. And with that we can go to scoring and see who's won this. I'm not sure who it'll be. Joker definitely got off to a really strong start, but the Teen Titans caught up a lot towards the end. So here are the 2 score piles. Let's see what happened, starting with the Teen Titans. 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, oh that's easy to remember, 30 on the dot. And the Joker crew, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. It's a comfortable win at the end there. 21 plays 30. They scored 6 alone there by using 2, get them off the streets. They still would have won without that though. Just. It would have been a bit closer. The Teen Titans are a bit more interesting now with their little mix of tactics cards. Had to bring in a lot more neutral ones. They can't take snitches anymore, which would have been an easy score. The plan for them was to have Nightwing spawn super close to the deployment and then just run around doing stake your claims just to be annoying, throwing batarangs as he went, and have the rest of the team kind of move up together and cause problems. For the Joker crew, in case it isn't obvious, it was poison every living thing and hope that they die. Unfortunately, they only drew 1 seasoning the mix, and it was too late to matter. So that was just a little bit of unlucky card draw there. But the rats in general, like Ratcatcher was the reason this list was put together, just to try out assisting. Like, totally forgetting that he had to also be near the rats to give them the poison aura that makes the poison rolls harder to do, was a big mistake, but he had to run because he had the loot. I guess in hindsight, Condiment King could have been the one to grab it and run away. That would have been smarter, but it was just a little test team to put together. I think against a more body-heavy crew, even like a Batman crew with a bunch of cops, or a Two-Face, or a Penguin, or whatever, like Gaggy bouncing around poisoning everyone being super irritating would be hilarious. And then Ratcatcher just moving up with his rat bodyguards, making the poison harder to resist, would be fun. So the Teen Titans weren't a great matchup for that list, but they did okay. And the new Nightwing is fantastic, but that's to be expected. So anyway, thank you for watching. I sincerely hope you enjoyed. There'll be more in the future. Again, might be a little bit delayed while we cover some shorter lived stuff, but Batman isn't going anywhere. So see you next time. Until then, ta for now.